You need a Tetris shot.
Tetris.
Have you been Tetrisized?
Square, rectangle, trapezoid, tetrazoid.
Nintendo introduces Tetris.
Put a piece here, put a piece there. Use your thumbs, use your eyes. Find yourself Tetrisized.
Now you're playing with power.
In a world of bad movies, two follically challenged men will stop at nothing to share their opinions of them. Their wives are tired of listening. But are you? This isn't the podcast you deserve, but it's the one you need. Prepare yourself for bald guys and bad movies.
Welcome to Bald Guys and Bad Movies, episode 52. I am Troy.
Troy, cut it out!
Here with my buddy,
Mike Stella.
Mike Stella, the fella. Mike, you about to go on vacation for a week.
Hell yeah, I am.
Where are you going?
About to be Lucky Mike out in Vegas.
You were Magic Mike last episode, so a different type of magic.
That's right.
No helicopter action.
No helicopter action.
This time your shirt swinging above your head at the tables, right?
That's right.
Are you there the whole week? The whole...
Yeah.
Huh?
Sunday to Sunday.
Sweet. Should be fun. What's the weather going to be like?
Nice, dude. Starting like tomorrow, it's in the 70s, and then the next day, like starting Sunday, it's in the 80s.
Definitely not Russian weather. Segue. Watch your head as it flies over your head.
In Russia, weather check you.
What are we reviewing this week, Mike? If that didn't give it away, probably didn't.
From Russia with Love.
Yeah, Sean Connery. But we're reviewing
Tetris.
Tetris?
Tetris.
Tetris.
Tetris. Tetris.
It's a combination of tetra, Greek for four, and tennis.
Tennis.
The Russian inventor, he likes tennis.
This game isn't just addictive. It stays with you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Hank, only 10 other people in the world have seen what you're about to see. It's called the Game Boy.
Package it with Tetris.
Can you get us the rights?
Did you play Tetris back in the day?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I had a Game Boy like the moment it came out, dude.
I don't think I ever got a Game Boy.
That's sad.
I don't think I wanted one though. That's the other.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't remember that being on my list of I gotta have it.
I remember getting it for Christmas. Like after I opened it, we had to go to like mass at like, cause like I was raised Catholic. I remember sitting there with my Game Boy on in church playing my Game Boy.
Hopefully with the volume down.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that I think about it, I could not have been the only kid sitting in that church playing a Game Boy.
Of course.
There's absolutely no way.
Was it packaged with Tetris?
It must have been.
Probably,
Tetris.
right?
I probably had Mario. I know I had Excite Bike.
Yeah. Excite Bike. I remember that.
Excite Bike was dope.
Yeah.
I don't really remember what other games I had, to tell you the truth. I think those were the big ones.
Did you play Tetris much?
Yeah, I played Tetris a lot. I mean, I was never a huge like Tetris head. Like some people were like obsessed with Tetris, but I was not. But yeah, Tetris is a good game. I mean, it's addictive like for a while until you get to the point where you're just like, fuck this, and you can't get past like a particular level over and over again. Because it gets so damn fast after a while, it's like impossible.
The game is good, but now, is the movie good? We're about to find out. Tetris is a 2023 biographical thriller directed by John S. Baird, written by Noah Pink, and starring Taron Egerton, Nikita Efimov, Nikita Efimov, Sophia, holy shit,
Okay, a bunch of fucking people are in it. No one cares.
No one cares.
Move on.
Sophia Levedova, Anthony Boyle, Toby Jones, and Roger Allam. It is based on true events around the race to patent the video game Tetris in the late 1980s during the Cold War. And it is available on
Apple TV Plus, I think it's called.
Apple TV Plus, correcto mundo. So, Mike, what'd you think about, with non-spoilers, would you
What
recommend?
did you? I want your opinion before I say mine.
Well, my opinion has been evolving since I've been preparing for this review.
Well, what did you think when you at the end of the movie when you first watched it? That's what I want to know.
I thought this would have been a really great documentary. I didn't think it was a great film. I thought it started pretty promising, but I kind of thought about you. Like
me?
Like sometimes how you feel. Like when it went to the middle of the movie, when it went to Russia, kind of got boring, dude. Like I was getting sleepy.
That's so funny.
So I was thinking of laundry. I think I need a laundry meter.
I was going to tell you this was a zero load movie.
Oof, okay.
I thought this movie was phenomenal.
Really?
And to the point, yes, and Andrea thought it was phenomenal to the point where she was in the room, in her bedroom, falling asleep, okay? And I was told her, I'm going to watch Tetris. I got to watch it tonight. She's like, okay. She came out 2 minutes into it, and I was like, okay, I'll put it back. We started it over, and she's like, well, I don't know how long I'll be awake. It kept her awake the entire film while she was already about to go to bed. Like, that's how good we thought it. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was so good. Yeah. I thought the pacing of it was so good. I felt like if Cocaine Bear had half the pacing of this movie, I would have loved it. I would have absolutely loved Cocaine Bear. But I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the best movies I've seen in a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
A good chunk in this movie is the tension of getting a paper signed.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying.
There's a sequence where he's going room to room to room, which was pretty cool.
The fact that they were able to build all that tension around a paper getting signed, like I didn't even. It's like I think I heard this on a podcast. They were talking about how Back to the Future, like what are the stakes in Back to the Future, like. What we have to get my mom and my dad to fall in love, right? And how you couldn't get that movie made nowadays because it's so sweet and like, there's no like, well, where's the end of the world? You know what I mean? Like, where's like the real like stakes in the movie? And that's what I felt like this movie was. It just felt like you're trying to get a paper signed, but the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. And I just thought it was great. I loved it.
Yeah. So Mike recommends it, clearly.
Highly recommends it.
And, yeah.
I'm surprised, to tell you the truth.
Honestly, dude, I don't want to use the word boring, but it was... The story's fascinating, but it's more fascinating for... I left it wanting to see, like, a documentary about this. Like, the actual... And not the movie schmudge that they put in this. Because it felt formulaic. It was... The fucking car chase at the end, and then the setting them up for blackmail. And by the way, none of that shit happened, by the way, but whatever. You got to inject some excitement. Taron Egerton, who co-produced the movie, and he was great.
He was phenomenal.
I like that guy.
Andrea waited the entire movie until at the very end. She's like, "Who is this kid?" I'm like, "It's fucking Taron Egerton."
Oh, she didn't realize
like,
who it was.
That's who it is. I'm like, "You waited the entire movie to ask that?" She's like, "I've been trying to figure it out on my own this whole time." I thought that was funny.
You know what? I can watch that kid do anything, dude. Like
anything. That kid is, he is the perfected Charlie Hunnam, in my opinion.
Ooh.
Like he is everything Charlie Hunnam isn't. You know what I mean? Just he's a good looking dude.
Okay.
He's a great action star.
And knows how to walk.
He knows how to walk. That's a very important thing. Very important. He can do anything. He has a great voice.
I loved his walk in this movie. Did you?
Oh yeah, his walk was great.
It was almost penguin-esque,
it was like a waddle. It was like a penguin.
Yeah, like his whole physicality was nice.
It was really good. But he's great in everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember when I first saw him in The Kingsman.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I don't know who this kid is, but I can't take my eyes off him. Like he's so good. Yeah. Like he is just so magnetic of an actor.
And God willing, with good health, I can easily see him becoming like the Michael Caine.
Oh, yeah.
That actor.
Sean Connery, you know what I mean? Like,
and, as the older they get, the different types of roles they can embody.
Well, they should be in a movie together where he plays like the young version of
Michael Caine.
Of Michael Caine.
That would be fantastic, dude.
That would be fucking awesome.
They keep throwing his name up for, believe it or not, Wolverine. Have you heard these rumors?
I would watch that.
Yeah, I would too.
I would watch that.
He wouldn't be the one that will leap to your mind right away. But they said the same thing about Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
And I was like,
exactly.
But that's why I'm intrigued. What's he going to do with it, right? So
yeah, totally. Like, give this guy some HGH and a fucking crazy workout routine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's short as hell, so it's pretty sure he's pretty small. So, I mean, I think he'd be perfect.
He's in good shape.
Well, he was like a gymnast or something before everything. So.
I feel like him and Tom Holland should play brothers in something.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think he was a gymnast too.
I don't give a fuck what it's about. Just give me a fuck. I will buy the ticket right now. Sign me up, dude.
It's literally called Brothers in Something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm wondering why. I mean, I know why he was cast, but the real guy's like half Indonesian, which makes sense because those are his actual kids in the movie, right? His Asian Indonesian kids,
right? Who
look fully
Asian. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird.
So I was waiting for the moment in the movie where they're like, "Oh, he's not the real dad; he's a stepdad or some." But I think it was supposed to be his, though. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there kept being more. At one point, there were 2 kids, and then I saw, there's a third. They had another one. Then they had a 4th. You know what I mean?
Then when I found that out, I'm like, you got Dev Patel, you got a lot of actors. And look, I'm not going to be that guy. This is woke watch. I'm not trying to be all woke. It was a thing I noticed, and like, huh? Are those his real kids? Because they don't look mixed. They look like full-blooded, Japanese. They were Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but he was good. I don't know. It didn't resonate. It started well. I'm
surprised.
It started with promise. Like the opening with, level 1. I was all about. The energy was great. And then when it got to Russia, and I'm like, I'm with it. And all that ingenuity just fucking went away. And it just
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then out of nowhere, in the chase at the end, it starts turning to Tetris blocks. Like, which I thought was kind of a cool, nifty thing. But why did that zhuzh disappear in the middle chunk of the movie? Like, why didn't it continue to have that clever play with video game meets real world?
Well, I mean, they had it with like all the transitions did that. Like, you know what I mean? But I do understand I do think they could have put that in through the rest of it. But at the same time, I didn't really care that much because I just thought the movie was fucking good. Like, I was fully engaged the entire time. I didn't nod off a single moment through the entire movie. And it was funny because we got done with this film, and Andrea's, and I'm like, I was like, I think Troy's gonna really like this. She's like, I don't know, man. He really liked that Menu movie that we thought was garbage. I was like, I didn't think it was garbage. I just didn't think it was great, It's like she called it. She called it, man, that you weren't gonna dig it that much.
Dude, I'm gobsmacked that you didn't find this boring or slow.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was phenomenal.
I thought it was working really hard to stretch a compelling story, but adding a lot of, I don't know. It just felt a bit cliched. Like I've seen this story before. Over and over and over again. Outsider coming in, battling the Russian forces. It felt like it was added shit, which it was. And I was more intrigued by the console wars, Nintendo, like the back and forth with that. Like Russia, great, but I felt like we spent so much time in Russia dealing with the Russian angle, and I know that's the crux of the story. But
that's the whole movie.
I know.
The whole movie is
the whole movie's in fucking Russia. And it becomes like an espionage movie.
And that's what I loved about it. I love the fact that there's this constant level of like menace and this constant level of, at any moment the Russians can just take them off to the gulag, throw them out. You know what I mean? Just you're gone. Now you're gone. You disappear. You never existed. What Japanese guy from like who was talking about a Nintendo game? Like we don't know what you're talking about, and he's just gone. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he had his head in the lion's mouth like the entire time he was there, like kept the level of intensity of this movie at just way at the top for me the entire time.
Знакомьтесь, это Алексей Пажетнов, создатель
Hank, this is
Тетриса.
Alexei Pajitnov, the inventor of Tetris.
Wow, really?
Мистер Роджерс, я хочу, чтобы вы знали, я вам не
Hank,
верю.
Mr. Belikov would like you to know that he doesn't trust you.
И я считаю вас лжецом и вором.
And you, sorry, these are not my words, are a liar and a thief.
Also a horrible cook.
И еще он плохо готовит.
It was a joke.
I don't think you understood.
Yeah, I can see that.
Once you get to know Alexei and Nikolai, Mr. Belikov, that's where I really started to get invested. They had so much more to lose than he did. You know what I mean? Like, they couldn't leave at any moment. They couldn't just walk away from this whole situation. And the fact that they were willing to stick it out all the way to the end, like, I don't know. I just thought it was phenomenal. I really thought it was one of the best movies I've seen. Like one of the most entertaining movies I've seen in a really long time.
I'm happy. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you loved it. Like, I mean, it's not bad. It's not garbage. It's not. I just thought it was okay. It made me really want to know the true story. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I did too.
Like, I really want to see, like, what really happened.
Why don't you give me a breakdown of, you said you looked that stuff up. Give us a little breakdown of what happened in real life.
Oh, well, I mean...
I think it'd be nice to know. Like, bring it up. We're actually got something we can talk about in real life situations. So how did it differ? Like, how did...
Well, I can read you some of the stuff that's in Wiki. An interview prior to the film's release... Hank, is it Hank or it's pronounced Hank, right?
Hank.
But it's
Hank.
spelled Henk. Hank Rogers said that both he and Alexei reviewed the script and made suggestions. However, Rogers noted, it is a Hollywood script. It's a movie. It's not about history. So a lot of what's in the movie never happened. There were events in the movie that did transpire in real life. For example, Roger notes he did convince Nintendo to bundle Tetris with the Game Boy at launch in place of Super Mario Land. That was I love those things.
An NDA? Why?
Because only 10 other people in the world have seen what you're about to see, and to be honest, we don't trust you.
8-bit graphics?
Yes, and a brand new Sharp LR35902 core at 4.19 megahertz with 8 kilobytes internal RAM.
Impressive. No color screen?
Color, you need 8 batteries instead of 4. It's too expensive. This gives you 30 hours of gameplay, all for $89.
What's it called?
It's called the Game Boy.
Oh,
like
dude,
that
those
behind
are great
the scenes of that world,
Nintendo.
and you know what I mean, like
Dude,
that.
Dude, that shit was
was compelling.
Dude, I loved when he had the head of Nintendo play Tetris, and he was like, it's okay. And he's like, yeah, right, it's okay. He's like, I know you think it's really good. Let's talk turkey here.
Rogers emphasized that the producers wanted to capture the darkness and the brooding that he felt during his time trying to get the rights to Tetris and then Soviet Russia. He continued, they tried their best to accept our changes, but when it started getting the creative flourishes like the car chase, but I'm not going to fault the film for that because...
Well, yeah, I mean, stuff like that, those are like little things, but...
It made me want a movie about the console wars. Like, I felt like
sure,
Russia is definitely part of it, but fuck Atari and all this positioning. Like,
well, whatever, I'm fine. Like, I would be happy to watch a movie about that too. When have we ever been ones to give a shit whether or not it's pinpoint accurate to what has happened in real life? You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit about that.
Only when it's, for me, not making a compelling movie throughout. That's why I'm thinking of ways that... Because every time he was engaged in double crossing that guy, not just Russia, there was like 2 backers, right? Forget their name. It was like the guy with the weird eyebrows, Maxwell, and his shithead son.
Yeah, the Maxwell guy, and then Robert Stein.
Yeah,
Toby Jones is Robert Stein. And then there's Kevin Maxwell, who was the big older Maxwell dude's son. Yeah, who played the older Maxwell guy? Like, I feel like I have never really seen him before.
His voice sounded familiar, and I looked it up.
Yeah, exactly.
300 paid when I get handheld Tetris.
Oh, perhaps I'll ask Mr. Rogers.
Hank Rogers has no money. He reps Nintendo and they'd never bribe you. And Robert Stein is too cheap, so don't even bother threatening me with him. 400. Final offer.
Okay, then.
And Mr. Trifonov, Kevin, does not need to know about any of this.
Roger Allam?
He definitely had prosthetics, and he's not that big or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But he was great.
He was really good. I actually thought he was really good. I loved all the back and forth.
No, I love that.
I loved all the sort of backstabbing. I love the fact that they get to the point where they realize nobody had rights when they're like, wait. Let me get this right. You're saying no one has rights to this? Because that dude is selling rights to the whole goddamn thing to everyone. So I didn't fucking lie to you. I didn't steal a damn. I thought I had rights when I was making this thing. Now let's get a deal together. You know what I mean? Like, don't deal with that shady motherfucker. Come to me. Like, I don't know. I liked all the back and forth, and the fact that you never knew what was going to happen, mainly because it was it's Russia, so you don't know who they're going to back. Like, you don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, Russia's a wild card when dealing with sort of selling things to them. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I thought it was
the backstabbing was great. So
what exactly didn't you like?
Too much fucking time in Russia, dude. Too much with the KGB agent who wants to get bribed, and then he's threatening what's his face?
That was so quick, though. I mean, there was like
that was not quick. He was a huge.
The one conversation about him getting bribed with Maxwell.
The bribe plot went on and on. The son turned him down. Then he called the dad. The dad made a deal. Then he was trying to sabotage the contract signing because he wanted to get his bonus. Then he threatened Alexei's kids,
but that all tied into the backstabbing having to do with the other thing. So I mean, like, I don't know, man. I think you're crazy.
Yeah,
dude. I'm totally blown away that you didn't that you didn't like this movie.
Like I said, it's not terrible, but I wouldn't call it like the best movie I've seen in a long time, because I could think of many ways to make it better, and it was there. Like, I just think there were more angles of this story that was going on that I wish they would have told. That still was this story, but with the Russian agent, the chick. I mean, if they had just consolidated all that down, you know what I mean? Like, not focus so much on the Russia part of it and more of the.
That was the entire movie. The movie was about Russia.
I know,
the movie was about trying to. What are you talking about?
It shouldn't have been about Russia. It should have been.
What are you talking?
This is the console wars. This is the war.
Oh my God!
To get this fucking game.
Oh my God!
And they mentioned Atari, and Nintendo's trying to position themselves, and I just felt like that was the most compelling part of the movie, not this fucking. I felt like the energy dropped. It was sucked out of the movie when they were stuck in Russia for a huge chunk of the middle of the movie.
You're crazy.
And then out of nowhere, the car chase at the end. And then it
wasn't out of nowhere.
It's becoming Tetris.
He gave him the goddamn, like, contract that was signed by the Oleg by him. They had a real contract, and they had to get out of the fucking country before the KGB.
So we gotta inject some energy in this film. So let's have a car chase, and let's have the cars bump into things and turn into Tetris blocks out of fucking nowhere.
Who cares? I don't know.
Why wasn't that running throughout the movie? If I'm not saying a car chase, but like more of those touches.
Because it was less.
It came out of left field, like from a movie from that point.
So okay, sure. Maybe it did come out of left field, but I guess because I was invested and I was into it, right? I didn't give a shit, and I wasn't questioning it at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
I liked it. I was like, why didn't it do more of that shit? Like, it started with such energy. Like, it's the first 30 minutes was gripping. And then when we got to Russia, it started to slow down. I'm like, where's the energy's gone?
Cannot agree with that.
There's just a long fucking time with him trying to negotiate with the Russians. And then it picked back up near the end. Then, like the third act, it picked up again. It's just that middle. It's really that middle act. When him,
dude, I loved the middle of this movie. I thought Act 2 was great. I thought all the stuff with Russia was super compelling.
Yeah, it was interesting. Just wasn't as good as the first act or the final act.
Well, but the final act had the car chase and everything. I thought you didn't like the car chase.
No, you're not listening. I like the car chase, but too little, too late, and then it comes out of nowhere. You can put something in a movie that you like that was cool, but then look at the rest of the movies but that really was random and out of nowhere, and it felt like, how do we make this exciting? Because we need excitement. I know, car chase at the airport, it's not enough. Let's have the cars turn into blocks, like Tetris blocks.
Well, I mean, like I said, they did have the Tetris block transitions throughout the entire film.
But this is the actual scenes. This is the actual...
You're right.
Like, it became like the fucking Adam Sandler garbage movie.
Yeah, but where would you... But that's the whole thing. Like, I don't know where you would put that in there because, that's where the energy kind of... It's no longer this sort of suspense-y sort of spy thing going on.
I got an idea. Do a top-down view where they're going from room for room, and then the people moving looks like little Tetris blocks. You could do a little thing like that. If you're gonna do it, then fucking do it, right? Like make it, like really interweave it. I put it this way, if I loved the movie, I probably would have pointed that out as that was kind of random. Like why did
I did think it was kind of random.
Do that? Like you didn't need it. If I was loving the movie as is, you didn't have to do that, but whatever, I'm not hating it.
That's exactly how I feel.
And this is me not hating it.
Right.
In fact, I would have liked to see more of that throughout. Because think of Tetris. It's pieces negotiating for leverage and getting...
So at the end, they were in Russia for a lot too, to like deal with the final conversation between everyone to get that final contract signed. And that's when we see Gorbachev.
Yeah.
And there's more of that KGB agent and all that stuff. So... Which actual part in Russia did you not like?
I felt from the moment, I liked the scene where the first time he was trying to get the contract, right? And they had all players in different rooms. They didn't know they were all there, right? He was going from room to room. I thought that was clever, right? Then after that, it was a lot of him. I'm trying to even remember. I know that was him bonding with Alexei, going to Alexei's house, went to a club, and then the KGB, they're listening.
Right.
Then they take his pants and threaten him to leave. He doesn't go. He goes back to the office to have more conversations about the contract, to tell them, hey, he's actually fucking you, I think, right?
Right.
If the sequence of events. And so it's a lot of him going back, talking to them about the contract. And then there's the B plot or the angle with the agent girl, which, once they had that shot through the window, like, okay, dude, you're getting set up.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
Come on,
yeah,
dude.
Totally. Yeah, I knew that. I was like, oh, there. Yeah, that was a setup.
maybe if they had shaved that part down. I mean, I know you love it as is, but maybe if they had trimmed some of that, just because I felt that's where there's a long gap, and maybe it was the time they took for him and Alexei to develop a relationship, which I think is important because it's an important part of the story.
You just didn't find that portion compelling.
I find it was okay. Just the Russian agent, the guy, the politician. Was he a politician? Was he KGB?
Yeah, he was KGB, but I believe Gorbachev calls him a politician at the end. So he has to be a politician of some sort.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I guess I wish there would have been more inserts, more moments with like the Toby Jones character, right? Because these are the other players. The guy, Maxwell guy, right? Which I love those characters. The fucking lawyer who didn't he borrow a lot of money from the lawyer guy in the beginning, or maybe he didn't. He did. The bank. Sorry, the bank guy.
Yeah, the lawyer. Yeah, the bank manager guy, the loan guy.
Does he come back ever in the movie, or is he just in the beginning?
Yeah, well, no, he doesn't actually come back ever until the very end, where they just show him playing the Game Boy, playing Tetris on the Game Boy at the very end.
Yeah.
They don't bring him back, but I didn't really feel like they needed to bring him back, because at that point he's on a roll. He's got a you know what's on the line. He was there just to give you the stakes that everything was on the line, right? And so once you realize everything's on the line, you don't need to see him again.
Well,
because
that's another pressure point.
They could have had him calling and be like, "Hey, we need that. We need you to start paying back the loan and stuff."
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
the movie was hitting its stride, especially in the beginning, because it was fast moving. He was wheeling and dealing. He had to keep the plate spinning. There's so much at stake, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like the plates became one plate, and it was to get the Game Boy rights,
handheld rights. Yeah.
And it became just about the handheld rights, which is fine. But I feel like there was so much focus on him locking that down. And I loved the lead up to that. Where he was.
But he knew that the handheld was the important thing, because he knew that they were creating this new thing, and this was going to be a game changer because it's such a perfect game. And he was for Game Boy.
No, I'm not questioning the reasoning. I'm saying the energy from the first act with many moving pieces and leveraging, and then getting to that point, let's just call it the second act when he's in Russia, it just becomes about that one thing, right? Yeah. And then at the end, when the forces start to collide, Gorbachev is involved, like then it started to pick up again, and like all these balls are now like starting to collide again. And then it becomes like more like the first act for me. Like, oh, okay, he's got to fucking move, stick and move. It's like a boxing match.
But I felt like he was sticking and moving the whole time. Like when he was in these conversations, he was making all these moves to make sure that to try and get them to understand what was going on in a way that would allow him to move in and get these rights. And then he realized, like, oh, I don't need, like, nobody has these rights. I can get all the rights directly from them and take it straight to Nintendo. I don't have to deal with, I can cut out all the middlemen and have all the profits for, me and eventually Alexei.
You need it. Imagine if...
I didn't need anything. Well, I thought it was perfect. What you needed.
What I needed was Scorsese. A Scorsese-like experience.
What are you talking about?
The camera's in constant, there's energy. So if there's long stretches of dialogue and information dumps, someone like Scorsese knows how to energize those scenes and keep it moving just through camera motion and, songs, right? Something to keep it snappy. Because I felt like
I thought the music was great.
No, I'm not saying the music's bad. What I'm saying is the energy of this wonderful character. I feel like the half of the movie complements that so well. And
I think you're crazy, Troy. I think you're crazy, man. Like, I thought it was phenomenal.
This was definitely not phenomenal, in my opinion.
Oh, man.
Phenomenal?
So I thought it was really good.
Would this be a possible 5 for you?
No, not a 5, right. But close. Okay. No, I would recommend this movie. Like, what did we even review last week? I don't even remember.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I liked it better than Dungeons and Dragons for sure. I liked it better than
a different type of movie though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I felt more tired and like unengaged in.
I am. You're shocked about me. I am shocked about you. You fall asleep. You get sleepy, bored. I can't think of an example.
No, I know. I do.
I thought for a fact you would think that this was kind of slow in the middle.
Nope. I thought it was top notch. I thought the pacing was great. I loved the way that.
Would you watch it again?
I thought it was oh, hell yeah, I'd watch it again. I was thinking about putting it on today while I was doing dishes, but I was like, nah, I'm going to be done with these too quickly, and I'd be talking about it tonight. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to bother. But
give me the menu any day.
Ugh, you can keep the menu.
I will say, if you're a fan of Taron Egerton, he is the main reason. Like,
he's phenomenal. He is phenomenal.
And let's just say,
but he's great.
All the actors are great. There's not a bad actor. Like, everyone does their job. But the movie rides or dies with his energy, his performance. And even in this section that I didn't like, I still liked him. He still carried it.
The kid who played Kevin Maxwell I was like, He looked like the discount version of the guy who played Robb Stark in Game of Thrones.
He almost looked as weird as his dad. Those fake
totally.
brows, dude, were like, you know what the brows reminded me of? Do you remember Joe Pesci in JFK?
Oh,
played
my
that
God.
character with the fake
that
eyebrows.
was the weirdest fucking character. To see him in JFK was the weirdest goddamn thing.
So what's your favorite part, Mike?
My favorite part was when he walks into Nintendo.
That was probably one of my favorite parts.
And they're like, we need you to sign an NDA. He's like, why? And he was like, I already have a deal with you. And he's like, well, because what we're about to show you, only 10 other people in the world have seen. And frankly, we don't trust you. And I was like, that was great. I thought that was a great line.
Did for a second, do you think it would be the Power Glove? Probably not.
No, because I'd seen the trailers. You know, if I hadn't seen the trailer, maybe I'd have thought it was the Power Glove. But oh man, yeah, that's the next movie, right? All about the Power Glove.
The Power Glove. Everything else is child's play. The Power Glove powers your hottest video games. Put on the Power Glove and get a grip on the 90s.
That middle part, the players on the board kind of went away, and it was just him versus the Ruskies for a while.
Really? But I thought they were all kind of there. Are you talking about like
Maxwell, the Toby Jones guy? He popped in and out a little bit, but there was a good chunk.
What about the part where they walk out of the hotel and they're both standing waiting for the cab and they double take each other like, son of a bitch? I think they both said it at the exact same time, like him and Toby Jones's character.
Oh, they noticed that they finally realized they were there. Yeah.
And so they both go, taxi, taxi. And he's like, he digs into his shirt to grab the pack of cigarettes because that's how you get a taxi, is by holding the pack of cigarettes in the sky.
And I think that's a missed opportunity because those two didn't really interact. That would have been an uneasy alliance, but really, they're both, maybe Toby Jones more than, because, we got to keep him like the hero.
Right.
Like, okay, since we're both here, what do you know? Like, what's going on? And
right.
Let's have coffee. Let's talk about it. And like, just like the chess game.
But he kind of already knew that he was just fucking flying by the seat of his pants and just bullshitting everyone.
What I'm saying is you've established these characters. Now have them interact with one another.
Yeah.
He is a player. Just like Maxwell guy, his shitty douchebag son. That's Mr. Maxwell.
That's Mr. Maxwell to you. That shit was too funny.
Yeah, I love it. I wish I could have seen more of that guy. Their interplay was great. Anything with all the other players. And I didn't mind the Russia stuff. I just felt like we just spent too much fucking time in the middle just dealing with the Russian angle of getting the console rights. And maybe there's no way around it. Like you said, that is the story. Here you go. This guy knows what I'm talking about.
Who is this guy? What is it, like Rolling Stone magazine? Variety?
No, that's just average Joe. Tetris is a film that aims to create an intricate story about something that was actually simple, and this carries with it problematic and questionable baggage. And you begin to realize the events unfolding on screen simply don't have that level of momentum, drama, and tension to sustain that kind of narrative approach. Over-embellishing a real story carries considerable risks when you fail to make it as grandiose as you seem to propose. Tetris feels as if it's about to soar as soon as it brings Alexei and Hank together, almost poignantly regarding them as kindred spirits. But it quickly shoves the former to the periphery. After that point, the film's focus is kept firmly on Hank and all the only-in-movie struggles, big and small, that are contrived for him to overcome. From using his house as collateral to missing his daughter Maya's school recital to getting beaten up by the KGB.
So in other words, you're both wrong. I don't know who that guy is, but he sounds like an idiot.
That's all screen time that could have been used to detail fucking Atari trying to... What? They fucking took our rights? These global powers. And here's Hank caught in the middle. You don't need the KGB to beat his ass. These companies are beating his ass.
Yeah, but
that is it.
No way. No, it's not.
Here's the scene where the KGB threatens him. They threaten him again. And then they slap him around. Then they take his pants.
Give me a fucking break.
Fucking kill him already. If you're going to do all that. Like,
give me a fucking break.
How many times did they threaten him?
I don't know.
You need to leave, comrade. Then he shows up. And the KGB agents, they're like, What is he doing here? Like, are you KGB? Are you fucking around? Are you going to threaten the guy? Either threaten him and do something about it or don't do anything about it. You going to throw Alexi's kids out the balcony? You have this whole scene with what falls faster, the penny or the chair? I don't give a shit. This is a story of a revolutionary moment in time, the console wars, the first console wars.
But it's not.
Should have been.
That should be a different movie.
Instead of scenes I've seen in 1,000 different movies about Russia and the Cold War. Who gives a fuck?
Well, I gave a fuck, and apparently 91% of the audience gave a fuck.
And I'm sure a 91% love fucking Resident Evil 4 the movie, or fill in the blank.
Doubtful.
And maybe I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. It's an opinion.
It's okay. Like if the
No, it's not. But that's what I'm saying. It's not. It's no one's wrong. Like I was joking. You were stating an opinion on the matter, Troy. So I mean, what the hell?
I'm saying
everyone can have their fucking opinion.
I could, maybe down the road I'll watch this movie and have a different feeling.
That has happened to me.
I just feel like this movie could have been so much better.
I thought it was phenomenal. Like. I thought it was. I'll say it again. I thought it was phenomenal.
I would love a movie about, again, I mean, I've already said it. Made me hungry for a movie about that time. The video game race, the great race between the consoles. This wasn't that movie. And then,
that would be. That'd be a fucking sick movie, and I'd be down to see it for sure. Yeah. I'm so blown away that you didn't like this movie,
dude. I'm so blown away that you were awake through most of it.
I was awake for every moment. My eyes I barely blinked.
Because I never get sleepy watching a movie. That Russia part, I started like yawning. Maybe I was tired.
You must have been tired. When did you watch it?
I started like 10. Wasn't like so super late, but like you said, maybe I was tired. Maybe I need to rewatch it.
Maybe not. I mean, maybe not. Maybe you just didn't like it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And again, I didn't hate it.
It's art. Everyone gets their own opinion, and they're all valid. Let's rate this turkey as what I think you think it is. You go first today.
I'll give it a 3. 3 bad 80s mustaches out of 5.
I almost did the porn stash. Taron Egerton porn stashes. Oh,
so what do you rate this? Could be your 5, man.
No, I don't think it was a 5.
Why not? You said it's phenomenal. And I'm not teasing, but
I did think it was phenomenal. But it's not like I'm not going to give it a 5. It's not perfection.
What's not perfect? If it's not perfection, then what could have been better?
There were, like you said, the weird things where the car is hitting stuff and changing.
You didn't like it, or you thought it was?
No, I thought it was I did. I thought it was a little out of left field. Right. Like it was really good. I really enjoyed it, but I feel like a 5 is gonna need to jump out at me.
Okay.
I can't put my finger on what a 5 needs to have, Troy. But when I see it, I'll know. What I mean?
Close?
Does that make sense?
Could this be close?
This is close. Okay. I mean, this is a 4.5. This is a 4.5 for me. Okay. Absolutely a 4.5. Right. 4.5 pairs of blue jeans or Levi's being stolen by the KGB. Troy's favorite part of the whole movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
So if you would like to support this show, keep us going, keep us rolling along, uploading content, you can support us by going to patreon.com/baldguysbadmovies and donate to the show. We're going to use those funds to make sure we can see any movies that you guys want to see and getting our studio set up so we can start recording video and doing these not just audio but also video on YouTube. And once a month, we will pick a patron to choose a movie for us to review. And we'll review it. We'll dedicate it to you. But either way, we just hope you enjoy the show and keep on coming back.
Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Plus, Game Boy comes with the outrageous new game, Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use the revolutionary video link and blow your opponent away. Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.